What? I had the door closed. Hey there, and welcome back to the Fazbear tomb, where we are pretty much going to tackle custom night. Let's see if I can actually beat this challenge, because beating max difficulty will get us the extras, and that's how we'll be able to finally pretty much conclude everything that there is to do in this game, to my knowledge. So, let's see. This is going to be a tough one. This is a tough one. Foxy is extremely active. I'm going to have to really be like watchful eye over everyone, honestly. This is this is gonna be rough, especially trying to like figure out how to balance like going for Freddy, going for Chica or Bonnie. This part is frankly the part that I'm really worried about. Okay, hold on. Okay, so there's Chica. Bonnie's still in the wings. Where's Freddy? Not attacking yet. Bonnie's not attacking it either. Bonnie's not attacking yet. Okay, Chica's not attacking. Right now, the biggest thing I have to worry about is accidentally missing Bonnie. That's my biggest concern. Alright, Freddy's going for the attack. Just wait for the next laughter. Freddy didn't laugh, right? No, I did. Not good. I was worried about that. That's the thing. I think I have to realize Freddy, I think I can hold out a little longer, but I need to check for Bonnie. I need to check for Bonnie, because that's literally where I'm gonna keep collapsing. I checked for Freddy because I heard the sound, but I need a visual confirmation that Bonnie is not doing anything. That's the part that really gets to me. And Foxy, I don't know how many phases Foxy has. So that's another issue. Alright, Chica's not attacking. I have to check Bonnie. Shoot. Okay. Shoot. I'm so locked. God damn it. Yeah, I took too long to react there. Chica only has 3 cameras. That's the thing. Chica only has the 3 cameras. That is tough. Like, mainly because of the speed at which they move, on top of the fact that you have to stay at the door for a long period of time. Again, I think the one thing I'm not a big fan of is how often you can hear them walking around, because obviously, like, you have to rely on the sound cues for the door. You have to rely on the sound cues for the door, right? But then you also just randomly hear it. So there's just so much sound going on that frankly is just it just kind of just messes you up, and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes it is pretty obvious, and other times it's like not so obvious. Alright, you're not there. Alright. Alright, Chica's there. See, like, for example, like, I have no clue if Freddy's there. Alright, check here. Close the door. See, like, someone walked up for sure. Alright, there, okay. Let's take a look. Freddy's still laughing. Okay. You're both in the kitchen? I didn't even know you could go in the kitchen. I don't know if I have the heart to do that again. I'm gonna be honest. I was so close, but of course Bonnie had to choose to attack. They all attacked at once. Or not at once, but in quick succession. I've only been recording 15 minutes, and already I don't... Am I gonna get luck like that ever again? I need them to like... Oh my god. Freddy was doing so well going back and forth. Bonnie was staying out of their lane. Why the hell did they all have to attack like in quick succession? Not at once. Not at once. But I knew, I was hearing... I was worried that if I went for Foxy, I was gonna get killed. Which very well could have happened, I don't know. But I was worried that was gonna happen. That's why I did not want to go. I wanted to deal with Bonnie immediately, but again, that's the thing, they take so long to deal with, you can't really do that. My heart was racing. I saw the time, I was like, I saw the time, I was like telling myself, do not say anything for the love of God. Look, see, already. Look how close they are. What? I had the door closed. Okay, so that's a bit of a bug. You can't, if you do it too early, the game doesn't recognize that you closed the door. Oh my god, why? It's starting. It's starting. Bad luck started. Already getting screwed by the game. Yeah, I gotta let the door open fully. I was like wondering, it's like they're taking a bit long to leave the door. I actually started thinking I completely, like, just didn't hear the... I was about to say, did I just not hear the door close at all? Someone walked up. See, that time, that sound cue helps even when I'm not at the door. The problem is, because you hear that so often, it's hard to tell if I'm just hearing it because, oh, they ended up being close by. Oh my god, wait, I'm actually hearing them arrive at the doors. Is this something that just like, was my ears just like not locked in enough? Is that what it is? I don't like this idea though. Because now, oh, I thought my game bugged. Because now, there's a problem when you start relying too much on the sound cues. Ready. See, that's what I'm talking. See, okay, I'm glad I got an example there. I heard the footstep sound cue, thinking it was Bonnie. It was probably Chica moving around somewhere, or maybe they even moved to one of my doors. But because they use the same sound cue for every type of movement, with the exception of Freddy, right, who at least has the laughter to help differentiate, stuff like that can happen where you accidentally, you know, think, oh, I heard Bonnie leave. That's why I think in general there's too many sound cues. I think Bonnie's already there. He is. I don't know what happens here, because I don't know who showed up first. There was no winning then. Like, I got back, had to check for Bonnie. I think I have to leave it there, I think. One more try. Oh, I'm taking a gamble right now because I think she cannot back here. Oh my god. I took a huge gamble for no reason. I somehow got away with it. I thought Chica was at the door because I didn't see them. Chica was not at the door, but I got away with it somehow. Oh Lord. Well, this was, let's see. That was Freddy's movement just now. At least I hope so. This might be it, yep. I don't know if Chica left or if that was Freddy arriving. Again, that's my... Again, like, it all boils down to the same point. Okay, so overall thoughts on the game. I think in general, the whole premise with like the Fazbear tomb and them having us be here to like clean out the place pretty much since it's now defunct, I think that fell to a bit quite short for me personally because we're just night guard, right? Besides some like what I think it was like one post shift task that was really doing body maintenance, right, and then mini games and whatnot. We didn't really do anything that aligned with what the Game Jolt page says. It is your job to pack up the place and ship away the important stuff. It's, what I mean? It's like, they say that in the game page, but we don't do any of that in the game. We're just a regular night guard in this scenario. My point being that if this was the idea that they're going to put in their description, and there's like the idea like the Fazbear tomb, like, oh, you're pretty much packing up the restaurant, it has no chance, we're letting it die. I wish gameplay would have helped reflect that a little bit. That's like when I first saw the description and everything, I thought in my mind this was going to be like something more task based, where we're going to be packing up the place, something like anti-clockwise. I think is the game where it's like anti-clockwise and Clockwork Conundrum are like similar in this aspect. Anti-clockwise is a lot of like the manual, like packing stuff into boxes, but you're kind of like bringing stuff into the location, but you get the idea, like that kind of like manual labor aspect. And then Clockwork Conundrum, you're deleting files off a computer. I thought this game was gonna go in that direction from like a tasked gameplay perspective, just because of the description there. Them kind of putting emphasis on the fact that we're here to pack up the place. And in the end, we were really just a night guard. Like, what I mean? We didn't really do anything. Like, we just, 12 to 6 a.m. general stuff, which is fine. I just think the game page kind of sets up different expectations. At least if you, pay attention to that kind of stuff, like, really deeply, I suppose. Again, it's just for me, I think it would have been a bit more interesting to see that aspect of, like, really seeing this place finally get shut down, like, permanently getting everything out. I think that would have been something a bit more interesting. Now, gameplay-wise, obviously my main critique is just the use of sound cues. If the sound cues were different between them arriving at doors, them leaving doors, one way or another, so that you can't confuse one for another, I think that would be great. Overall, mechanic-wise, it's very simple, right? You always have to pretty much close the door, shut the eyes. You don't have to really do much thinking there. It's more so about just paying attention, trying to keep track of where all the animatronics are, and kind of trying to like predict whether they're about to attack or not based on like what camera they're on. So there goes, there's quite a bit of strategic thinking that you have to really do here, which is honestly pretty cool. I think, again, if the sound cues weren't the way they were, you wouldn't run into like those kind of like blunder situations. But besides that, gameplay wise, pretty fun overall. Pretty tense for a while. You also have the spring body segment, which I think that one is also a little bit weird, just because for one, I think like the amount of times he says, "Where are you?" like so repeatedly, I think is a bit funny. It comes off as a bit like, at first it was like, like a little bit of shock factor, and then it just got a little bit funny. You hear him constantly, "I see you," while he's in a parts and service room with an endoskeleton. And then besides that, it's pretty much, you're either closing one door. It's a lot like you're either just going to one door or you're going to the other based on what camera you're going to. It just, because of how simple the core gameplay is, having it try and work for one character doesn't really introduce too much. Obviously, from a story perspective, you know, it's more significant because you have Afton there trying to kill you. I think that's another thing that kind of falls a little bit weird here, is that they don't really explain why Afton's trying to kill you. I mean, maybe it's because, you know, you learned about the spirits inhabiting the bodies from that very first maintenance check with Bonnie, but again, it gets weird because you have what, night 1 with Phone Guy, night 2 with a previous night guard who I think was actually William, then night 3 Phone Guy again, then night 4, or actually no, night 3 didn't have a Phone Guy, I think, and then night 4, or was it, no, sorry, night 3 had a phone call, night 4 had no actual call, and then, or I think it was just like music or whatnot, and then night 5 obviously is when Spring Bonnie is there, and then Custom Night has like the whole Spring Lock tapes call. But that pretty much sums up my thoughts. Of course, as I said, we did not get to see extras, unfortunately. I mean, I have to be honest, the like log, I've seen some games log extras behind Custom Night, which is you know, it's definitely one way to weed out the pros here. But of course, with all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, hit that notification bell to keep up to date on future videos. Great job to Maroon Fox so far on the game. Obviously, despite my critiques, had a lot of fun with it. And with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.